Hey my friends, today I'll share how I save money by grounding my own meat at home without any special equipment. All you need is a cleaver or a chef knife and a cutting board. In this video, I will show you how I turn chicken breast to lean ground chicken with a chef knife. You can use this method to ground any type of meat you want. And the benefits, apart from saving money, include 1. Knowing exactly what is in your ground meat. 2. Having full control on the end texture of your ground meat. And 3. Easy cleanup. You don't have a ton of difficult parts and dishes to wash. So, come, let me show you. Come, follow me on my journey towards a happier, healthier, and freer life. Subscribe to be notified on upcoming videos. Some of you may know I launched a collection of cold weather scarves, especially designed to comfort those with sensitive skin. So if you find scarves scratchy, check out freendcat.com. Here's a piece of bone-in chicken breast. I bought this when it was on sale a while ago and froze it. So this is defrosted chicken breast. You can use any type of chicken. I'm using chicken breast because the ground chicken sold in the stores are typically lean ground chicken. So I'm using a leaner cut. But feel free to use any poultry of your choice. Whole chicken, chicken legs, chicken thighs, turkey breast, turkey legs. This method allows you to customize your ground meat to exactly what you want. The first step is to remove any skin or bones. This is a skinless chicken breast, so we're going to proceed with removing the bones. If you're starting with a skinless, boneless cut, you can skip this step. Turn the chicken breast bone side up. Try to get a feel of the bone to see if there's any easy entry to slice the bone off. Here's an easy entry. I'm going to slide my knife in and cut as close to the bone as possible, with the other hand pulling off the meat. There's a mini bone right here. I'm going to slice as close to the bone as possible, separating the bone from the meat. It doesn't have to be perfect. You will see why later. Keep your knife slicing as close to the bone as possible while using the other hand to pull the meat away. Almost there. Now we detach the bone completely. See, there's this tiny bone here. Slice it off by keeping your knife as close to the bone as possible. Alright, let's do a final check to feel for any bones to ensure the meat is bone free, because we don't want any tiny bones in our ground chicken. For the bone, you can freeze it for chicken stock or soup, but I like to go through the bone piece another time to scrape out any chunks of meat for the ground chicken. The chicken is deboned. Let's slice the chicken into thin strips. There are many ways you can do this. For a thick chicken breast like this one, I like to first cut it horizontally through its thickest part. And as I slice it, I use my other hand to carefully pull the piece away until it forms a thin, whole chicken cutlet. I repeat this process for the other side of the chicken breast. And look at this beautiful thin chicken cutlet. Now I'm going to slice this chicken piece into thin strips. See how easy it is? I'm slicing the chicken at an angle. I do that because I find it easier to produce thinner chicken strips. And the thinner your strips are, the easier it is to ground the chicken later. What I've just shown you is a personal preference. You don't have to do it this way. What I suggest is to stick with the method you're most familiar and comfortable with in order to produce thin chicken strips. The goal of this step is thin chicken strips, and it doesn't matter which way you get there as long as it is safe and sanitary. Now that we've got our thin strips, let's proceed to the third step. Dice the chicken. Turn the strips of chicken 90 degrees, bunch them together, and carefully slice them into small 1/4-inch cubes. The cubes don't have to be perfect because we are going to ground the chicken later. Alright, we have roughly diced the chicken, and now the fun part. We're going to grind the chicken. Spread the diced chicken on the cutting board into one layer without gaps. Minimize overlaps and shape it into a square or rectangle. Pick up your knife, make sure you have a firm and safe grip of the knife, and start chopping away from one end to the other and back like so. I have my non-dominant hand pressed down on the corner of the cutting board, a safe distance away from the meat. I do this to prevent the cutting board from moving while I'm chopping away. Occasionally, I cut through the meat like this to ensure it is fully sliced through. Looking pretty good. Let's rotate the cutting board 90 degrees and do the same thing. Chop away from one end to the other and back like so until you see the meat spreading wider and getting flatter. Turn the cutting board back 90 degrees and repeat the same thing. For a finer texture, I will angle myself and the knife at a 45-degree diagonal and chop from one edge to the other and back. Now we're going to fold in 1/3 of the meat from one side and do the same for the other side. And chop away from one side to the other and back like we have done before. Then turn the cutting board 90 degrees and repeat. We are grounding the chicken and I'm repeating the chopping steps that I've shown you. This is where you have to use your judgment to decide how fine you want to ground your meat. The more we do this, the finer the texture. It is done. Amazing. Check out this 100% ground chicken breast. I know exactly what is in this ground meat. You can make meatballs, chicken burger patties, stir fry, chicken pot stickers, chicken spring rolls, anything you want. This is 200 grams of 100% ground chicken breast. Tonight's dinner is ground chicken stir-fried with a little butter and mushrooms. Here's a recap on grinding your own chicken. 1. Remove skin and bones. 2. Slice into thin strips. 3. Dice into cubes. And 4. Chop away to your desired texture. I hope this helps and I hope you give this a try and let me know in the comments below how you like it. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.